And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Thursday night edition of Biz Talks. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International, and my privilege to be the host tonight. And I want to start out, first of all, by welcoming all of you, our well-established distributors. There's a number of our tenured distributors joining us this evening. Many of our brand new distributors just recently getting started with us. And I want to tell you, I'm very excited about the guest I'm going to have this evening. I'm going to have double black diamond Dee Hutchins joining me here in a couple of minutes. One of our top income earners, one of the most focused and committed distributors in the field. And you're going to learn an awful lot from what Dee will share with you. And so I encourage you to grab your notes, your notebook and that sort of thing. But what I really want to do is I want to welcome those of you that were invited as a guest. See, somebody you know, a friend, a family member, maybe a colleague, invited you to this broadcast or maybe directed you to the video replay on the YouTube channel. And I want to give a very special welcome to you because that's what this evening is all about. It's information for you. And I got a question. Do you know why your friend or colleague or family member invited you to be part of this broadcast? Well, if you're like most people, I mean, if you ask them what would they like in their life, it would fall into basically three categories: more money, more free time, and more fun or meaning in their life. That's what most people want. And if I could show you a way where you could get all three of those things: more money, more income to live the life you want, more free time to have the time to do it, and frankly, a more meaningful existence for yourself and your family, would it be worth a few minutes of your time to listen to how to do that? And if you answered yes to that question, that's why you were invited. And so what we're going to do this evening is we're going to share with you a little bit about what we're doing. I'm going to give you an opportunity to hear from a gentleman by the name of Dee Hutchins. Dee is one of our top income earners in Zija. And when you hear his story, you will see why people from all walks of life, all different personality types and circumstances, have been able to use this vehicle to enhance their life and build the life that they truly want to have. Now, if you're in America or in the world today, it kind of goes without saying, if you keep on doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep on getting what you've been getting. Same job, pretty much same income, which then dictates same home, same lifestyle, same vacation, same car, whatever. Now, what we have is an opportunity to create an additional income stream and to do so in a professional business with all the, the failure points of starting a business taken away. You don't have to worry about product development, shipment. Everything has already been done, and it's the concept of a home-based business within the network marketing profession. And if that was something that you were looking for, to be able to do that without having to disturb your current life while you're building on the future, there are three critical ingredients that you want to look for. Okay, and I'm going to share those with you real quickly. You might want to kind of make note of this. Number one, you need to look at the leadership of the company, the ownership. Zija International, our owner is a man by the name of Ken Brailsford. Now, you may not recognize Ken's name, but you already know Ken. Ken is known as the father of encapsulation. He was the first person to put medicinal herbs into those little gel caps we're all familiar with today, to make it easier for the average person to consume the benefits of medicinal herbs. Ken launched his first company in the early 70s. It has now grown to be over 45 years in business, billions of dollars in sales, and continues to thrive today, 4 decades later. Ken started his second company in the health and wellness industry again in the mid-80s. That company, now over 30 years in business, has done billions of dollars in sales and continues to thrive to this day. Ken has the notoriety of being the only man in the network marketing history that's built 2 successful multi-decade, multi-generational income opportunities. Ken came out of retirement 13 years ago to build his third company, Zija International. Now, Ken said that this will be his largest and most successful company ever, and we get to participate in that. So the people that run the company is critical. We have now the executive management team, the people that are running the day-to-day operations, headed up by a gentleman by the name of Jeremy Redd. Jeremy Redd and his management team have already created 2 previous billion-dollar-a-year companies. They have already demonstrated they have the knowledge, the experience, and the expertise to take Zija International to $1 billion a year, and that's why they joined us. It's because of the experience of the corporate team, and number 2, our products. You want to look at who runs the company. That's the first thing. Number 2, look at the products. What do you have to market? Zija International has been known as the Moringa Company. We have historically been the #1 grower, harvester, and manufacturer of Moringa oleifera products, and that's where we started. Today, we've expanded our product line to include, a range of products, health and nutrition products, healthy weight management products, healthy sports nutrition line. We have the only first-to-market clinical grade essential oil lines. We've expanded into skincare, personal care, home care products. The key here in looking at products is look for products that people already want and need. They're already looking for our products. You don't have to convince them they need these products. But what's critical is products that make a meaningful difference in people's lives. Products that when they use them, they get a positive response. Something that causes them to want to continue to use those products month after month, year after year. And what that produces is an ongoing income stream, or if you will, residual income. Residual income and leverage are the keys to wealth. That is just a fact. Ask any wealthy person. Residual income and leverage. Now, finally, the third ingredient is timing. Timing is critical in any aspect of your life, but certainly in business. And I could spend the entire broadcast time talking about why the timing with Zija is so perfect. Let me just simply put it this way. We're at the very leading edge of the most significant growth curve that will exist within this company's history. When you can make a run from, $100 or $200 million a year in sales to $1 billion a year in sales, every single one of the multi-decade, multi-generational income opportunities in our profession, the people that have gotten in at that point in time are the ones that have been the most successful. And that's where we are right now today. And what I want to do right now is I'm going to bring my guest over to this side of the presentation. A little heads up there. I'm going to be bringing you over right now, Dee. Dee Hutchins. I've had the privilege of knowing Dee for a number of years. His story is phenomenal. Dee is today a double black. Dee, how are you, sir? Let me unmute you here. Good to see you, sir. So they relegated you to the bedroom, right? Because the family didn't want to hear you talking tonight?
That's exactly right.
All right, give me just a second. I wanted to introduce you appropriately. Dee today is a double black diamond rank in our company. What that means is he's a really big deal. He's done a lot of business. He's helped a lot of people with their health, a lot of people with their finances. Dee has also done something that I personally want to give you my thanks for. Dee is committed to being part of our distributor advisory board. He's part of 8 people that have made a decision to work directly with the corporate management team to speak on behalf of those of us in the field to coordinate that. And Dee, I want to personally thank you because I know it's a big time commitment and you're running a huge business and yet taking time out of that to support everybody in the field. And that's an incredible blessing that you're giving us.
My pleasure.
So what I'm going to do this evening, I'm going to talk with Dee a little bit about his background, what caused him to get involved, and what you want to be looking for, especially those of you that are invited guests. What is the difference between you and somebody like Dee, who took advantage of this opportunity and has literally changed the direction of his life, his family, his children, and all those things. So, Dee, thanks again for taking time out to be part of the broadcast. Let's start with this. Before you were introduced to Zija, what was Dee Hutchins doing? Who was Dee Hutchins? What were you all about?
Well, I was spending most of my time teaching and coaching. I was teaching AP US history at a high school. I was a part-time professor of history at a small university in the area here in central Kentucky where I live. And I had coached small college and high school basketball for 16 years in the state, but I was out of coaching in 2005 and was actually introduced to Zija in 2008. So I didn't have coaching as part of my day-to-day routine when I was introduced to Zija. But besides that, I had a wife and two children. My children were, in say 2008, were 9 and 11 years of age. I was also serving at that time as a deacon in my church. And so, I was involved in just what most people consider a pretty normal day-to-day life here in the area that I live in. And I certainly was not looking for Zija. Zija kind of found me through a former student of mine, which is an interesting story. But that's basically what I was doing.
So you're like most people, busy guy, work, kids, family, church, all those types of things. How were you introduced to Zija?
I went to Atlanta, Georgia in the summer of 2008 for a rock concert to see a group out of Canada called Rush. Somebody may be familiar with Rush, but several of my friends from high school met there. And I just happened to reach out to a former student. He had played basketball for me as well. And he had gone on to become a chiropractor, and he was working down a little north of Atlanta in an area called Alpharetta. And he came by the hotel, and we spent some time together just catching up, visiting. And before we said goodbye to each other, he said, I've got this nutritional food I've been using. He said, if you review it, I promise you want your family to use it. And at that time, I was 43 years old, and I was very convinced, Fred, that I knew how to take care of myself. I was interested in fitness and wellness and health. And so, to be honest with you, I really wasn't that interested in looking at this food he was talking about, because in my mind, I'm thinking, I already know, I've got my routine down, my regimen down. And so out of respect for him, though, I took a look. I took some information from him. He gave me a little newspaper, and he told me how to find the documentary on YouTube, things like that. So I went back to Kentucky a couple of days later, and I began to read and review. And when I did that, I was intrigued by what I was seeing, but I wanted some other opinions. So I went to a couple of friends. One had a doctorate in pharmacy, and the other was a triathlete friend that lived down the street from me named Chris Estes. And so I asked those two men to look at it along with myself. And so after a few days, the three of us figured out that it was something we thought had some value. We all three decided we would use it or try it.
Now, you started essentially then as a customer.
That's correct. What happened was I called my friend in Atlanta, and I said, hey, I've got a couple of buddies that are interested in trying this. I think I'm going to try it as well. And he said, I'm coming to Kentucky to visit my mother. I'm going to come by your house. And so he actually brought my wife and I some of the nutrition and gave it to us as a gift. So that was very nice of him. And so what's interesting is Chris Estes, my neighbor, came up the street, and when this gentleman was at the house, we were all visiting, and Chris said, and I didn't know anything about what he was looking for, if he was open to this, whatever. He said, Dee, he said, I'm interested in using this food, but he said, I'm also interested in making some money. He said, I've been looking for a way to make extra income. And we were friends, and I didn't know that he was looking for ways to make extra income, but he said, are you interested in doing this business? And I said, no, there's no way I'm doing it. And so my chiropractor friend signed Chris Estes up that evening, and I didn't sign up for anything because I already had free product given to me as a gift. So I began using it. My wife was using it. And in about 3 weeks or so, we made the decision we were going to be customers of this nutrition. And so I went down the street and signed up as a customer underneath Chris. And now the product's being shipped to my house, and I put my children on it. They were 9, 11 years, as I said a minute ago. And so my family, we were just happy customers.
So what prompted you to look at the business end of the business?
Okay, great question. I was very stubborn. I thought I knew a lot as a middle-aged man, and I really was not. I didn't know anything about network marketing, but I still looked down on it, kind of like, I was above it. I thought it was something people did that could make it a real job, and I had real jobs. So, it's funny looking back on it. I mean, I was very convinced I knew a lot and could make an assessment of something when I didn't know anything. And so what happened was Chris, since we were neighbors, he would occasionally drip on me and kind of let me know how things are going for him and kind of what this is like. And, he knew not to really push me. In fact, I'll tell you, if my chiropractor friend in Atlanta had tried to get me into the business, I would never have looked at the nutrition out of spite. and I wouldn't be here. So he handled me just right and got me into something that he thought I would be interested in. And then the business was something that Chris dripped on me. And so after about 6 months, it took 6 months. After about 6 months, I was open. And what happened also, I was learning, I knew the value of what I discovered. I knew this nutrition would help my family and friends and people at church. So I was open to sharing it with a few people. And my ultimate goal was, heck, if I can get my product paid for by giving it or sharing it with a few people, then so be it. And that's how I got started.
You know, that's interesting because that's the natural path so many people take, is that when you start feeling good, you're noticing the benefits and that sort of thing. And I know, you know, you're into sports, nutrition, you're a healthy guy, but to notice the benefits of this addition, it's like kind of is a natural thing to tell people you care about. And that's what ended up happening with you. And you got your products paid for by simply having a couple of customers.
Well, one thing I like to share with what you just said is that I didn't have any testimony. I didn't have anything I was really noticing. I was educating myself on what it was. I was digging in so deeply that after a while, I was like, wow, this is something people need to know about. And what I find is I've been traveling around the world for the last decade sharing not only nutrition, but also just health with people, like water, sleep, and exercise, the 4 pillars of health, is that most people are completely ignorant of how to take care of themselves. They just don't know. We're not taught properly. I don't care what area of the country you live in. People don't know what to do for the most part. And nutrition is the most difficult of the 4 because it requires a serious investment of money and an effort on our part to know what to buy, how to prepare it, to ascertain the nutrition that our bodies need. So I knew this had real value, and I was actually doing this business, what I would call out of inspiration, not desperation. See, Chris Estes, who's now our #1 money earner in the company, he was doing this business initially out of desperation. He needed extra income. He needed to make some more money because he was, didn't have enough to take care of his family. I didn't have that problem. However, I saw something of great value and I was inspired to share it with other people.
You know, that's very powerful because you bring up a real issue here. It's not always money. It's not always time freedom for a lot of people. And we, as you know, we have in some cases people that are already millionaires that have become Zija distributors because it's a cause. It's something they want to do to benefit others. Now, what would you say if you had to put it in like a little compressed fate? What was it that you did once you made that decision to get involved in the business? What was it that you did to start developing your business? And folks, I'm just going to tell you because Dee's kind of a modest guy. Dee built on a part-time basis his Zija distributorship to a 6-figure income before actually making a decision to do this full-time. What were you doing that was allowing you to do that, to create that level of income, being a 10-hour-a-week business with Zija?
Right. Yeah, I continued to teach school full-time. I didn't quit anything until 2013. So as you said, I was building this on a limited part-time basis. But really 2 things stand out as I look back. Number 1 is I was willing to talk to some people. I was willing to get in front of people and share this message of health. And that sounds simple, but I'll just tell you from experience, you know this as well as I do. A lot of people don't like talking to people. They don't like sharing things with people. They don't want to bother anybody. And if that's how you feel, you can't make it in this type of business. I mean, you're not going to go very far. So you have to be willing to talk to people. And I was willing to do that. The second thing is I started to work on myself, Fred, which is probably one of the greatest things I've gotten from this experience. And that is I started to have people ask me, what are you doing for yourself? What are you reading for yourself? What are you listening to? And here I was, again, someone who I've been around the block. I mean, I was in the medical area of the Navy. I've got graduate hours from Harvard and Clemson. I've been around a lot of different school environments, camp environments, coached basketball for, as I said, 16 years. I spent 10 years in Chicago with Michael Jordan every summer all through the 1990s and was around a lot of really successful people. And here I was, a 43-year-old man, and somebody asked me the question, what am I doing for myself from a growth standpoint? I can't answer the question. Can't answer the question. I didn't know what he was talking about. What do you mean growth? I mean, I'm a 43-year-old guy. I'm a pretty good guy. I'm doing whatever society says is the right things, but I wasn't growing. And so starting to read a book and then get into things. I mean, I wouldn't read the Bible even like I should, but getting into the Bible more and more growth type leadership books It's helped me be a better everything, a better father, a better husband, a better leader, a better Zija person. And so it also has helped me navigate through all the ups and downs that you have as you deal with people. You know, the greatest part of this business is people. You get to help people. The hardest part of this business is people, because they will drag you down if you let them. And a lot of people in society are very cynical and negative, and they don't have a very good outlook on life. And here you come along with something positive, and you're trying to bring some goodness into their life. And a lot of people are very apprehensive about looking, or they just, you know, it might sound okay, but I don't believe it. And, you know, we're fighting so much noise out here from everybody's trying to sell people things and convince them on this diet or this program or whatever. And so here we come along and we're sharing something as well. But the good news about what we're sharing is we're sharing truth. We're sharing something that's not debatable. You know, it's, you know, a plant-based diet is not debatable that it's healthier for you. So we're sharing truth with people. And that's, you know, something I enjoy doing, but I'm going to tell you, it's not always easy because of people. So the personal development part, Fred, is something that has helped me to navigate through that. And so I was very fortunate I bought into that early on and have stuck with it all these years. And so, you know, hope that helps answer the question.
It does, and it just jogged my memory. I'm getting, you know, I think it's 34 years ago, one of the very first things I heard in my very first networking company was, what we do, success is 20% what we do and 80% who we become. Interesting, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
We got just a couple of minutes left, Dee, and what I'd like you to share with the folks from your perspective, and again, you know, top income earner, you know, tenure with the company. I believe you said since, you know, well, you started using the product in 2008, part of our distributor advisory board. So you're working virtually on a day-to-day basis with the corporate executive management team. You get to see the Zija, you know, opportunity from a much higher level than the rest of the distributor base. What would you say is, you know, how would you describe what is going to happen with Zija, the path that we're about on? Because I'm trying to share with folks the critical importance of that third ingredient, which is timing.
Right. And here's the thing. The great news about timing is that throughout your and I's history of Zija, we've both been in this company for a long time. A lot of times it's the right people coming into an opportunity. The opportunity in Zija has been very consistent, in my opinion, throughout time. It's getting the right kind of people plugged into it that can then run with it. I've seen some people at some stages where I didn't think the company was being run as maybe as well as it should, or things weren't operationally like they need to be, say 2 or 3 years ago, for example. And I knew there's people that have joined in my organization who have done incredible things, just, you know, because they were the right people and they saw this opportunity, they ran with it. What I can tell you, and you know the history of the company as well as I do, but what I can tell you is what I'm seeing with the new folks that are running the company. You mentioned earlier their experience of taking 2 different companies to over $1 billion in sales, which is an incredible thing to accomplish. I don't care what, if you're network marketing, retail, it doesn't matter the business, but they've already done some things that are very exciting, and they're doing some things that are very exciting. And so I'll share some things that I've seen so far. Some you all will be aware of, and some you may not. First of all, just the sheer fact we have a CGT Champions Facebook page where we're getting real-time information consistently. There's been times throughout the history of this company that we didn't have anything like that, or they tried to inform us through calls or some different things, and none of that stuff ever really caught on or stayed very consistent. And it wasn't real-time information. You might hear about it, and then 2 or 3 weeks later there's another call, or 4 weeks later. And so the CGT Champions page is a place that people can go and be plugged in, engaged, and know what's going on if they want to. So there's no excuse for not knowing what's going on. They're doing their job of getting the information out to us. Another thing that's interesting is they've set up the kind of the competitive point system, which a lot of us, especially with our coaching and competitive background, have been clamoring for a long time. People like to compete. People like to know how they're doing compared to other people. They like to have like a goal to try to hit, or a mark to try to hit. So what they've done is they've created this point system that all of our incentives and things we're doing are based on. And so it's not going to change. They're not coming in trying something and saying, oh, we're going to try this for 6 months, and then if it doesn't work, we're going to try something else. This is the point system. It's intact, and everything we're doing for the next several years is going to be based on earning points, which these points are earned by doing the activities or the actions that we should be doing anyway. It's encouraging us to go out and recruit, to share the message with people, to retain people. We get points for that. For helping people rank advance, we know there's touching and going down in our organization, and also for rank advancing ourselves. So there are incentives there for us through the point system, and that's going to again, the consistency of that and the competitive edge of that, I think, takes us to a different level than we were on before. One thing the company, we had kind of clamored for this for a while, and that is we were being charged tax on the retail price of our products. Well, that's being changed. We're now going to be charged on the wholesale price of our products. And so that was something that was been asked about for a long time. We asked about it as the DAB, and it gets worked on, and they corrected it. And they, it's going to be happening any day now, where we get charged whatever the wholesale price is. And that was a sore spot for a lot of people, especially when they made larger orders and they saw, they couldn't understand why the tax bill was so high. Another thing that was a sore spot for people that this new leadership has tackled it was not easy, but I've seen results from this already, and some of your folks may have as well. Over the years, we always noticed there were some of our products for sale on Amazon and eBay, places like that, at a discount. People could buy XM Plus or Super Mix, for example, two of our staple nutritional products, at a lower price than what we could get them for. We're telling people that we are the Zija company. You can only get those products through us, and yet they're finding them on Amazon and eBay. And over the years, we were asking, how does this happen? How are these products leaking out? Well, when this new organization, this new leadership comes in, one of the things they noticed was that there were some, I'll just put it this way, there were some deals that were cut with people early on in the company where people could literally come in and get product at big discounts, and those deals had never been done away with. And so you had people literally walking in our company and buying large quantities of products at a major discount, and they're able to unload those on eBay and Amazon. So here's what's interesting. When they cut those things off starting back in April and May, in my organization alone, first of all, you can go look up Amazon yourself and see that the price is not $80, $85 like it used to be. In my organization alone, there have been I know of at least 20 people who have let me know. I've had people that were in Zija, started buying it from Amazon. Now they're calling and wanting to get back in because they can't get it like where they used to. And so that was a move that the new leadership's made, and we're seeing results from that. But ultimately, one thing I really like is that they want to, from an IT standpoint, our IT has not been good. Our enrollment process has not been smooth like it needs to be or consistent. And our shopping experience is not what it needs to be. And so the goal of the new leadership, which is awesome, is to give us a seamless enrollment process that we can do and operate on our phone or our computer, and in a smooth shopping experience where when we go on to shop, it's like going to Amazon. In other words, it's real easy to find stuff. It's real easy to order stuff. It's not confusing. And so that's their ultimate goal. We need to give them a little time to do that because they are just now bringing in and working with some people that can help with those changes. So those are things to look forward to, Fred. I'm excited about where we're going. Obviously, we're still in sort of a little bit of a transitional learning phase. And so as we go through this, I think that probably around the first of the year, we'll start to see some real positive things that from a company overall standpoint that'll come from the changes that have already been taking place so far.
Dee, you're a wealth of information and inspiration, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking time to join us. I wish we had more time, but thanks so much. Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing you and Sharon at the leadership conference here in a couple of weeks in Phoenix.
Absolutely, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, buddy. I'm going to let you get back to the other side, and
all right, take care.
We'll send Dee back to the other side. So, folks, in the last several minutes, we've talked a lot about many different things, and I want to kind of sum this up for you. If you're that person that desires something different, to create more income, to create more time freedom, to enjoy your life, to spend time with family members and causes, the church, whatever it is that you want, and you're looking for that ability to have more meaning, more fun in life, then you're going to have to do something different than you have been. Zija International provides an opportunity where, understand, Dee is just one of many, many people that have had their lives changed dramatically. I call this the 5-year retirement plan. If you think about it, how many people can really retire after 30 or 40 or 50 years of working and love their retirement? Here, we have a 5-year retirement plan that you will love. And so, in closing, what I want to do is I want you to, those of you that have been in our invited guests, thank you for being with us for this time, or joining us on the YouTube video replay. Get a hold of the person that asked you to be part of this broadcast. You're going to either need to learn more about our products, and I encourage you to try our products, or learn more about the systems that we have in place to allow you to build a business and not have to know how to do this. You don't have to have decades of experience. You can follow a simple system with the support of people in the organization that have already done this, and let that person know. First of all, thank them for inviting you. And then the person that invited you to be here, let them know, do you want to be a customer or do you want to be a distributor? And get started with us. I'm going to go ahead and close down for the evening. This is just part of our support system. Wednesday evenings, we have product focus calls with Pat Anderson, another one of the Distributor Advisory Board members, top income earner. Saturday morning, we're going to have a very special new distributor training. And so for those of you that are ready to get started tonight, get in, get ready to be trained Saturday morning. Same link. It'll be on my YouTube channel, and we'll show you exactly what you need to do to get off to a fast start. Thanks for joining us. And one last shout out, Dee, you the man. Thank you, buddy, for being with us. All right. Have a great evening, folks. Bye-bye.